How exciting is it that we have forward and reverse on this car and power steering that works like a charm. Now we got to be able to make it stop. Yeah, we got to have something to sit on. I mean, if we were really desperate, we could put our garbage seats back together and stick them in there. I just don't know that I'm that desperate at this point. But once this thing knows how to stop, come on. Oh yeah. Well, I hope your weather is just as nice where you're at today as it is here in Missouri. It is beautiful out, the sun is shining. I think it's like 67 degrees. Yeah, yes. No complaints. Well, this one's the worst of them all. Save the best for last. And we'll just haul this thing outside so we can take a better look at it. Come on now. Beautiful. You know, we've been working on this Buick Riviera, and with every awesome saved classic, you also have problems that you got to figure out. Well, we've gone through a lot of those already, and I told you I thought our master cylinder for the brakes was bad, but I think it's actually okay. I think it was actually our booster. And so the master cylinder's been removed. I fought, but I got the booster set up out of the car, and I currently have it outside. I went to Rock Auto, and they don't have any in stock. They're out of stock, but they can notify you, you know, when they get those back in. So I thought maybe, possibly, we can just get our booster tore apart and figure out what the problem is. So basically, when you press down on the pedal, it would just lock down, and it would not return. And the plunger on the master cylinder is fine. But when I was pushing on the plunger for the booster side, it would go in so far and then it wouldn't come back out. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and get you in close, and you can see now that we have this tore apart, this is actually supposed to clock on and lock in place. I had to pry in these areas all the way around just to get the whole thing to come apart, and then it flew apart because, well, there's a spring in there. But if we can get all these rusty areas cleaned up, the actual diaphragm looks to be in okay shape. I believe that it was actually this sleeve coming through here that was not sliding like it was supposed to. Can't say that for sure, but we're gonna figure it out. Also, you can see, you know, we have rust on these edges. So we're gonna clean up all these parts as good as we can, try to put it back together. Oh, and by the way, today's my 48th birthday, so that's kind of cool. Feel pretty good for 48. You'll notice how crusty it is, especially right there. So this thing, well, it's been around for a while. We all get a little crusty as time goes on, don't we? Guess we need our drill, our wire brush. I told you I could hear a leak on this booster too when it was running. That's why we just capped that vacuum hose. But obviously you get rust around these outer edges where this seals, and air's going to get in there or out. It's getting better. You guys are probably tired of hearing me complain all the time that we don't have any money to buy these parts. Maybe we don't have to buy any parts. It's by brake fluid, which I bought yesterday when I went to town. We will also clean up the outer section of this, and we'll probably end up painting this while it's out. I should probably take this boot out of here. Can I get it out without damaging it, is the question. Booster was painted black when I went onto the Rock Auto site. Apparently the AC Delco boosters were originally gold, but this brand was the other option. And what was the name of it? It says it right here. Bendix. That's right. So this was a Bendix booster, and it originally painted black. All right, that's a good initial clean on that part there. These obviously are rebuildable because there's a core charge. If they have them in stock and you order one, you pay a pretty good price on that core too. So if they can reman it, so can we. So can you. A little brake cleaner perhaps. Just think about this. How cool would it be on my birthday if this went super smooth and it actually worked? So while we're working on this, how many of you guys, gals, have rebuilt your power booster? What was your success rate? Was it worth all the time, energy, and effort? And I've been guilty at times of just throwing parts at something, placing parts just because you can. But you know, these old cars, they were built to be maintained and to be able to be worked on. It's just a different place and time. I'm just going to check these outer surfaces one more time. Well, that actually went fairly well. Got it apart. We ended up, if I didn't show it in the video, having to sand with that emery cloth this area back here. Had to take it apart a few times to get it right. But this girl is freshly rebuilt. I will say, like it's like a lock ring, like I already told you, like on a fuel tank when you put this back together. So we just put a coat of the rust reformer on first. And now we're going to hit it with some engine. I think it's a little more of a gloss. And then she's freshly rebuilt and ready to go back together. While we got it apart, we might as well make it look like we had to pay a bajillion dollars. Not too shabby, if I got to say so myself. I should let that sit a little bit before I turn it over, but I'm not gonna. We'll just do that. We're not expecting concours restoration results here, but we're gonna make it a whole lot better than it was. To anybody who ever looks at this, they're gonna think that we definitely put a new assembly on there. But what we did isn't any different, realistically, than what they're gonna do when they rebuild these themselves. Of course, they put new parts in there, but we didn't need new parts. We just needed to refine what we had just a little bit. That looks pretty nice, except for that one little smear we got on there because I got in a hurry. Well, boys and girls, it's time to reinstall our power brake booster, freshly rebuilt by us. Didn't cost us anything but our time and the paint that we put on this unit. Had enough of that racket, so we're going to go ahead and fit this down in here. Try not to scratch it up on that brake line that we got. What we're going to do is we're just going to get it just started. And then with our little bungee strap set up, go around our two bolts out here. And I'm just going to secure that up to the hood. And then I'm going to crawl inside, and probably one of the hard things, can be difficult, is real pain getting it off, but where your brake pedal rod is that goes through the hole on the clevis in there, getting that started on there is a little difficult. So we need this to be able to wiggle around a little bit, but I'm going to crawl in the car, see if I can't get that hooked up real quick. Alright, that is good. And pull that off. It just would have not been comfortable for me. Well, it wasn't comfortable anyway. But having you guys in here, I want you to be able to see. Can you get my light up there? So you can see where it comes to the firewall and where that clevis goes over the pin on the brake pedal. Getting that on can be a little bit of a pain. And then if you look just above there, you can see we've got 4 nuts, 2 on each side. Super fun to get to, by the way. And yeah, so you probably can't see squat, can you? Yeah, and if you can't see it, how fun do you think it is for me in here? It's been a great time. Our booster's in. I need to go ahead and finish up on the inside, and then we can go ahead and mount our also newly rebuilt and cleaned out master cylinder. You look down in here, there's 2 small holes that go down into your plunger area. This one back here for the back brakes, I believe, was completely plugged. I mean, crusty. This one wasn't as bad, but there was a lot of buildup in here, so I've scraped and cleaned it out with brake cleaner. Obviously put some fresh paint on this stuff so that when it goes back in, it's gonna look like, wow, that guy just ordered himself some new replacement parts. Let's try this again. We're putting the brake master cylinder back on. So now we need to carefully get this line started down below. Okay. Guess we better add some brake fluid, huh? Where are you? I just bought you. I don't know. There you are. Let's go ahead and, now that we got this up in the air, pull the wheels off, see if we can break the bleeders loose. See if we can't get some juice out of these things. These are all coming off very easily. It's like they weren't even tight. And they may not have been. Yeah. Oh, we're getting closer. Yeah, there went our wheel bearing cap. Perfect. For educational purposes, this is a 4-piston caliper. 2 pistons in this assembly, 2 pistons back here. You got a hard brake line, as you can see right here, that mounts to the back of the caliper, and then this end right here goes to your rubber brake line. In order to remove the caliper, you have to remove that hard line. Unless, and there again, this is the first time I think I've dealt with something like this. Initially, when I pulled the wheel off, I thought to remove the caliper, I'm going to have to remove that hard line, which I did. And then right here, here, and here, okay, 3 bolts. And I was like, well, that's kind of weird. It used to just being 2 bolts to pull off the caliper. But anyway, I started taking these out, and the first 2 fought me. And the last one, this top one, it fought me hard. I actually started with our little torch and ended up getting the big torch out here and superheating this area in order to get this bolt out. Well, what I realized in that moment was that this caliper is a 2-piece caliper. Again, 4 pistons, 2 on this half, and then realizing there's 2 on the back half. Those are not the bolts you have to remove if you want to take the caliper off in one piece. There are 2 bolts, like I am used to, back here that I obviously wasn't paying attention, so I could have made my life easier. The only thing I thought of is for maintenance purposes, is it possible that if you didn't want to have to remove the hard line back in the day, because there again, they made cars to be serviced and to be maintained, that if you did take out these 3 bolts, separate the caliper, you could then remove your nut, the whole rotor, which would give you access to put your back brake pad on, reinstall rotor, serviced wheel bearings, And then you could put the second half back on and you wouldn't have to remove the hard line if you did it that way. Spent a lot of time on this yesterday. Some of you have already dealt with this and already have knowledge of this. It's just something I ran into. Every car is a little bit different, and again, kind of the same. So you're learning something new every day. The rubber line, I will say, right here, is completely shot. Air will not blow through this line, and it wasn't until I removed the upper portion of that line right up here that I was actually able to get gravity flow of brake fluid. Tried blowing through that rubber line, it did not work, but the driver's side is apart. I ordered new hoses. They won't be here supposedly until December 3rd, so that definitely sets us back. I still have to tear apart the passenger side, and so today that's what we're going to do. I'm going to tear apart the passenger side, get all that cleaned up and prepped for when our new hoses arrive. And so yeah, that's what we're doing today. Car's at least up on the hoist. We can get this wheel off, and with our newfound knowledge, we can go ahead and get that caliper off there, probably in a much easier fashion. And I will say that I did have to heat and lubricate and do several heat cycles to be able to get the, you know, the lines off without busting those. Well, I guess we'll just move on to the passenger side here. I think to make it entertaining for you, I'm just gonna put you in go fast mode and let you watch. Let's go. Boys and girls, don't tell my wife, but I just took a whole roll of these out of the kitchen. I don't know if I should have even told you, because last time I leaked the information and somehow word got out. Yeah, you guys don't have to take the fall. So we're just gonna wipe all this grease off here. All right, blow some water off this table real quick. side, and over here, back on the other side, and I'm just going to keep alternating. Definitely making progress, I can feel it. And it might be there. Let's see. Yep. So there's our bearing, there's the race. So I could just leave that in there. What do I want to do? Yeah, we'll just go ahead and pop it out. Why not? We can clean everything up as good as we can. There we go. Beautiful. So I guess now we're back to Operation Clean the Parts. Let's just start with this plate. I'm not going to make you suffer through all this. We'll make you go through fast. Now you watch, as soon as I sit down and start working in here, the rain will stop outside and try to fool me into switching gears again. Well, I ain't having it. Now I'm working in here, so do what you gotta do. All right, we'll just spray this down with brake cleaner real quick. Again, the rain subsided, and we just want to make sure this is halfway clean before we put some paint back on it. flip it over too fast. A little bit of time spent on pieces like this will make you feel a whole lot better about it when it goes back together. And now that that's set up a little bit, we'll go ahead and put a little bit of engine enamel with ceramic. Give it just a little bit more of a gloss. It'll be easier to clean. And then we're going to do the wrong thing. We're just going to flip it over right away. We got the rotor cleaned up as good as we're going to get it. We got our bearings out of the ultrasonic. I'm going to go ahead and pack these. Going to go ahead and drive our race back in. And we're going to get this thing back together and on the car and show you what we got going on inside. So we're using our Prime Guard. It's red, high temp red grease today. And I'm just going to do it the way my daddy taught me. Just going to put a big old glob of grease in our glove, and we're just going to work it through these bearings. And just keep on packing and pushing. Just keep on rolling around because we don't have one of them fancy tools that probably only costs $10 from the parts store. We're just going to keep on packing it through, and you'll be able to see it push through the outer rollers as you pack it. It's not rocket science. Kind of like playing with Play-Doh as a kid. Keep rolling around, smashing it in. Doesn't take that long. You may even get some of those cool noises. You know, the kids nowadays are playing with that slime. It makes it smell like a fart when you're pressing it, right? Well, that's kind of the same stuff. Coming in hot. Oh yeah. Our washer. And in typical Mark fashion, the nut is nowhere to be found. It's not on the rolling cart. It's possible that I put it in the ultrasonic and I didn't see it when I got the rest of the stuff out. So let me go check. All right. Castle nut was outside, but our cap was still in the ultrasonic. So we're going to go ahead and put this key back in. And when we go to town, we'll go ahead and get some new ones. How's that sound? Oh, that looks nice. You guys did a real nice job today. I appreciate that. Now we just need to clean up our caliper. Get it good, and we can actually put this kind of back together, and then we're like the other side, we are waiting on our rubber brake lines. So because this side looks so good, now it makes the other side look bad. So I'm gonna have to pull the other side back apart, and we did not pack the wheel bearing on the other side, so we might as well do that. I mean, we got nothing but time at the moment because we're waiting on parts. So I guess that's what we're gonna do. All right, well now that we got the passenger side in good shape, waiting on those rubber brake lines, I guess we can go ahead and pull our caliper back off. Pull our cap, rotor, backing plate, clean all that stuff up. So I guess I'm going to start with the caliper. Should be pretty easy, you know, considering it was just off a couple days ago. Heck, I didn't even tighten that bolt. I must have planned on doing this. I will tell you, as I put these bolts back in, we're putting anti-seize on everything just so that it is a little more cooperative in the future. Yep, top one's still loose for us. All right, this should come off. Not bad. Kind of set that aside. Go ahead and get our cap off. Come on. Just be patient. There we go. You know what? Before I forget, I'm gonna get the ultrasonic fired up so it starts heating up our liquid. Don't have to do that because I left it on all night. What an idiot. It's okay, it's ready to go. Rest the way. I'm gonna go ahead and drop these in the drink along with our cap. Okay, and I think for this side, I'm just gonna try to pop the seal out, not remove the inner race. All right, I'm gonna finish cleaning up what I'm gonna clean up in here. You can tell the upper ball joint's probably been replaced at some point, or it was loose, because we got a couple of tack welds on that. Just gonna lightly brush up just this frame area, upper control arm where we can get to. Then we're gonna spray on some color, get this back together. Nobody's ever going to see what we did back in here anyway, but we know what we did. Several spots we could have done much better. There's obviously brake fluid over here. Half this probably won't even stick. And it's a whole lot better than it was. Wrong side. And our shorty. Wrong side socket. Where's our 3/4? There you are. No wonder that sounded a little funny there towards the end. Good to go there. So now we need to get our wheel bearings packed. We get that rotor reinstalled, then we get our caliper put back on. We can call this good for the moment. Well, you can see we got our driver's side back together. Wheel bearings are packed, rotors reinstalled, backing plates painted, calipers on. We're not going to install our hard lines until our rubber lines get here. So at this point, I think we can actually lift the car up in the air, and I think the next thing we'll tackle, I suppose we can go ahead and put our exhaust studs in on the front, and then we can move to the back of the car, and we can look at that fuel tank, see about getting that removed. All right, well, we got the car back on the ground currently. I just cleared out a bunch of garbage in the trunk, and I just want to show you guys, gals, that on the 69 Buick Riviera, they switched to an electric fuel pump, so it's under this cover. I'm going to go ahead and pull that cover, make sure there's nothing that we need to disconnect. It'd be interesting to see what this looks like under here too. You can see top of our sending unit. Now I guess I'm wondering, it must be an internal electric fuel pump like you'd see on some of the modern stuff. I just wanted to make sure there was nothing we needed to disconnect. You can see we got some crud sitting on top of there, which doesn't give us a ton of hope about a build sheet on top of the fuel tank, but that's yet to be discovered. We could try to remove that hose. That's a more modern fuel clamp, so at some point in time, somebody's most likely been in here. I guess let's go ahead and blow this area off, and we'll see if we can't disconnect that hose. As far as wiring goes, well, we'll have a better idea once we clean that off there. So if we were able to get to the wiring, which I can't from right here, see what's going on with that, it'd be kind of nice. Okay, fuel line is disconnected. I went to look for my headlamp. Wonder where it's at. I don't know. One of the easiest things we've got to do, now if I grab our soft blow hammer, maybe we can go ahead and get that sending unit out. And, well, kind of like our brake booster. We were just talking about these lock rings. Oh, this one's turning easy. We pull our wiring plug out of there. Yep, we can. We'll just pry up on our sending unit. Woo-wee! Smells magical. So far, coming out of there, there's probably some special magic rotation. We got it. We got it, we got it, we got it. Look at that. Gasket and all. Floats good. So here's our electric fuel pump. And sending unit. And it's A-I-R-T. A-I-R-T-E. AirT. IRT? Okay, well we got that out. I'm gonna go set that somewhere over on our bench. Now, we got any juice left in this headlamp. We do have some fuel in there, but aside from that crappy fuel, it don't look too bad. Okay, well let's go ahead and see about getting our bolts out. Where's our air nozzle? There you are. I just want to check the pads real quick. Good, good. We're fine on those. Okay. See, it's kind of got a half moon for a fuel tank. We'll go ahead and clean up our threads with our drill, lubricate those. 2 straps, not a ton of fuel on the tank. Tank has been crushed in over on this side. Nothing we're going to be able to do about that. As long as it's not punctured, and it does not appear to be, I think we're going to be all right. Good news is we're also going to be able to sweep underneath this car. All right, I gotta ask, how many of you think that there's a chance, a decent chance, there's a build chute sitting on top of this tank? We got a couple clamps, remove our fill spout. I will have to loosen up, which look like they'll be a little bit of fun to get to, but that's pretty good. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your favorite naughty baby coming out to the shop to try to grab all the stuff we don't want her messing with. Right? Right? Huh? Huh? You gonna be a good girl? You're gonna be naughty, just like normal. You're naughty baby. Yes, but everybody loves you for some reason because they think you're so stinking cute. Why don't you go play with your brother? Dad's got work to do. All right, well, I want to bring you in here. We'll turn on the spotlight. And you can see now, we got the hose disconnected. And my apologies, our SD card got full, so we had to quit. I've also been able to loosen the bolts on the tank. And we got our stand. Jasmine, no! She's eating a mud dauber. Jasmine, get out of there. Get. Outside, outside. Get out, here. Go play with your boyfriend. At this point, we got our stand under here. Our bolts are, for the most part, or our nuts on the bolts are pretty much out. We got some fuel up in the tank. Jasmine, you gotta go. Come on, outside. Oh, she is ridiculous. It's time to get the fuel tank out regardless of if she comes back in. Ugh. So let's get these nuts off here. Okay. That strap, which we're just gonna have to bend back, is out of the way. And now, as long as our balancing act works out for us, currently we're okay. Lower this down. Don't think there was a whole lot of fuel in the tank, so hopefully we'll be okay. We're catching on something now. What are we catching on? I should have waited until the wife got home. That way she could have laughed at me while I was doing this. Well, supposedly. All right. We've got the weight. Oh, we got another hose. That's what's holding us. And I can tell you there's a spider. Spider no more. There is no build sheet here. What kind of hose do we got back here and what kind of clamp is holding it? Oh, it's just one of them old compression style. The tank looks in great shape. I am very sad, but not surprised that we have no build sheet. Doggone it! It's like, it was like our last hope, and maybe not the last, but it was right up there. I can take this strap out of the way. Oh, I'm so sad. Oh, and I pinched my finger earlier and it hurts so bad. PPE, people. Ah, and don't be stupid is another good thing. Okay, well the hose is moving. Oh, that hurts. I can't even describe how bad my naughty finger's hurting on this dominant side hand. Oh, come on. Well, maybe we just rip through it. We're about there. Oh, look at that. Didn't even need to take it off. Our tank's coming down. Nothing worth celebrating except the tank's in good shape. Trunk floor under here is in good shape. Got a ground wire that is no longer grounded to anything. Body bushings are wore out. Overall though, this is money saved. So yeah, we're disappointed we don't have a build sheet or remnants of, where one would have been. You can tell by looking at the top of the tank, it doesn't appear that anything was ever stuck on top of this. But just more of the same under here. A lot of surface rust, but in very good shape. You can see our body mount, obviously decrepit, and mud daubers and cobwebs and more mud daubers. So, but in the fuel tank area, everything looks really good. You can see these old style shocks they had on here with the old curly cues. Pretty cool. You can see that this has been rubbing on something. And then if you look over here, you can see that's completely adjustable. Look at all the holes they've put through that thing. Our rubber line looks in decent shape on here, but we'll probably replace that when we go to getting in the back brakes. Our lines are a little crusty out there at the drums. Just look at this side over here. This side looks pretty good actually. So, not bad under here. Tank's out. So we need to get everything out of the tank. Jasmine, of course, she decided to come back in here because she just wants to be a pest today. She's smelling them beautiful seats. Jasmine, no. Hey, hey, I told you, outside, outside. Yeah. as far as goals today, woo! One thing I want to do before we go on this Thanksgiving trip is if we look up in this area, oh man, I hope I bought the right size. I want to get our new studs into those exhaust manifolds. I can see I've got a ground strap that needs to be secured to that head. You can see our brake work from these angles and lots of things that could be cleaned up and painted up and all of that good stuff. But exhaust studs. Let's see if what I bought is actually the right stuff. I don't know that it is. I bought this kit that says fits for GM. I'm hoping those are right. I'm gonna open those up, put a little NICs on them. So you're looking up in there at the same place I am, I hope. Are you? Doesn't look good so far. Let's move on over to the driver's side. These ones are cleaned out. This is the head we had to heat up. Ain't nothing going. In one sense, it almost wants to start, but I mean, it just seems to want to start and then it's done. So forgo and forget everything we just did there. After the tank's cleaned up, we will clean out underneath the car, get our work area looking halfway decent again. And then it's just time to go back to the city I grew up in and be thankful for all the stuff that we've been blessed with, right? I'm gonna carry this tank outside. We can get some fuel out of this thing. Oh yeah. Still got to get the fuel sock out of there. I think aside from getting our chunks out of there, I think we're good. Gently. There's our fuel sock. What's left of it? What a pain in the butt. We got some crappy gas we can throw on the fire. Let us do a quick clean under the car. Okay, at least we're back to doing one of my favorite things. One of the most peaceful things, I would say. Cleaning, organizing. We've made quite a mess while we've been working on this car. And so I guess while we're doing this, let's talk about what our next steps are on the car. You all know we've got the rubber brake lines from the front ordered. I probably should order master cylinder, just because if I don't, the one that we got's not going to work. But if the one that we have does work, that's money that we could definitely use. What a mess. We need a fuel sender pump assembly for this rib. So we need to get that ordered. The half tubes. Let's talk about the half tubes. Have to have the rubber lines we ordered. We have to have a new fuel pump sending unit. Those are the knowns. We don't know anything else for sure as far as we absolutely have to have this or that. But every time we have to wait on parts, it does drastically slow us down Up to this point, it probably hasn't, because there's been enough to do while we're waiting on parts. But as we continue to make progress on this car, there's going to come a point where the parts are crucial. And at this point, I think all of you, myself included, want to just see this car move and stop under its own power. And then all the other stuff can be taken care of anytime after that, if we're being honest. Oh, this is definitely much better. Doubt we're going to find any treasure in here. Oh, and just so you know, somebody had mentioned one of the previous videos that possible build sheet would be in the kick panel area on the driver's side, I believe is what they said. Well, I removed both those kick panels and no build sheet. No remnants, no nothing of what, you know, would have possibly been a build sheet. So on this particular car, that didn't work out for us either. I think we're getting close to exhausting our ability to find a build sheet for this car. I mean, if we completely tore the dash apart, maybe, but I've been under the dash and I haven't seen anything. If these seats were to ever be reupholstered and completely tore apart, maybe in the seats. But as of this point, I'm not believing we're probably going to find a build sheet, but Lord could surprise us. All right, that mess is cleaned up. I'm going to scrape the floor up front to fine tune that a little bit. Wider scraper would be helpful. I don't know that I have one out here. We want to get this cleaned up halfway decent. I'm going to feel a whole lot better about it if we do. We'll get a little kitty litter under here and let it soak while we're away. And that way, when we come back and we're ready to get back to work on this thing, it should be dried up pretty good. Yeah, a lot of sticky garbage. One last touch up. Brake cleaning. Get it nice and wet. This will take up a lot. And once the car moves under its own power again and stops and we can drive it out of here, we'll do a thorough clean back under here. That's going to have to do for now. All right, let's bring her back down to our universe. It's a lot quieter going down than it is going up. And when she gets within a foot of the ground with them tires, I can probably let off this top lever. We should be past our locks at that point. We'll just let her settle back in. Oh, what's Jasmine carrying around? What do you got? Come here. Come here. Get over here. Come here. Jasmine, get over here. Show us what you got. Nope, she's not gonna listen. She says, I got something that I'm not supposed to have and I ain't giving it to you. Little jerk. Hop a top again. I think I'll have another round. Buick's back on the ground again. Look at all the problems that we found. I know, corny. Ah, golly. Need to clean up my disaster. Goodness sakes. Well, my friends, I think this is possibly the time has come, is what I'm trying to say. Where we're gonna have to call it quits on this one. After this video comes out, be waiting on the parts to get here so we can continue forging forward. I hope that you're doing real well. We got a lot to be thankful for. So I know you'll all be contemplating that as you hopefully are celebrating Thanksgiving and not going through anything too difficult in life. Although some of you will be, because that happens. But I love you guys and appreciate you coming along for this journey. We're having a lot of fun on the Buick, and we got lots of other things that we can be working on once we get this thing a little further progressed. And anyway, I just appreciate you so much. It's been a good time. Don't forget, if you got those cool rides, a few of you now have been commenting on what you've been working on, but post them to the community tab on the channel. And that way I can check them out, and anybody else who wants to can do the same. So let's just share what we're doing. But go out into the world and use the superpowers, the gifts, the talents, all of that the good Lord gave you to make the world a better and brighter place, and be kind to others, and, you know, give them a glimpse of hope in a world that's fallen. There's a lot of good things yet to be found. So I love you guys, and we'll see you on the next one.